I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. We've got beautiful homes for sale in your area. We've got all the homes available on our website at StephenCooley.com. On today's show, we're going to speak with Scott Stegall with Carolina Home Pro Inspections about invisible, dangerous gases inside your home, how to detect them, and how to solve that problem. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back.
This presentation of the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show is sponsored by South Carolina Bank and Trust. We believe in South Carolina.
Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. On today's show, I've got Scott Stegall with Carolina Home Pro Inspections. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you, Stephen.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. As most of you know, Scott's been on the show before. He does tons of our inspections, and you always do an amazing job inspecting the home and also working with our buyers on making sure they understand what they got inspected. So that's really important. It's such an important process. I always say sometimes you sell a home twice. You sell it and then you sell it when the inspections come in, resell the home. So it's really important to get a really good home inspection and really important to make sure that it's understandable, and you do a great job with that. Now it's all electronic. They get it by email. They open it up and look at colored pictures of all the issues, all the problems with the home. And so I know they love that.
Well, thank you.
And everybody's got to understand, you got two agents and a buyer and a seller, and all these people have to understand that inspection, so it's really important to have it clear, and those are always clear. Today, Scott, I want to talk to you about, I guess we'll call it invisible gases in the home, because but there's always concern about carbon monoxide. What is it, and what it does, and how you get rid of it, detect it, get rid of it, and then radon. So let's talk about carbon monoxide first.
Okay, well, carbon monoxide is a byproduct of fuel burning sources. It could be water heater, furnaces, gas logs. It could be vehicles, attached garages, carbon monoxide coming in from the garage into the home. It displaces the oxygen in your blood system and therefore leads to some severe, in some cases, exposure to carbon monoxide. There are around 20,000 cases a year here in the United States that are emergency room treated for exposure to carbon monoxide. Around 500 of those result in death.
And what's the most common thing in a house in our area?
The common thing for exposure, usually it's the heat exchanger being cracked, or some type of flue issue with the water heater, or flame rollout from the water heater not burning efficiently.
Absolutely. How does a homeowner detect carbon monoxide? You can't smell it.
It's tasteless, colorless, and you can't see it at all. Right. Detection is, number one, is having a working detector in your home, and number two, having your furnace and appliances checked and inspected on a yearly basis. It's really important. You have to get into the heat exchanger to determine if it's got a crack in it, which is left up to the HVAC professional.
So with carbon monoxide, it's produced by one of the systems in the house that's burning gas or oil or something like that, and it's a leak, a malfunction that you need to find and correct. During a home inspection, do you test for these things?
Yes, we do. We do a visual. The number one thing I can tell you is have it serviced on a yearly basis, the HVAC system. And your water heater system, you can look at that from an individual basis and see if there's any charring or flame rolled out from the burn chamber on the bottom side, making sure the flue connection on top is attached and make sure it's drafting correctly. That's just some visual things a homeowner can do.
Right, and just like a smoke detector, go to the local store, install detectors in your home that will monitor the carbon monoxide.
Exactly.
Let's talk about radon, because that's not man-produced, and we have that in this area. So.
Yeah, radon comes from it's radium gas. It's generated from very rocky soils. The EPA ranks probability of radon here in South Carolina by numerical classification, one being the most prevalent to have it. There's one county, Greenville County, right on side of the mountains, that is ranked a 1. We in York County are ranked what we call a 2, and then from our county to the coast is ranked a 3. Statistically, you can have radon even in the sandy soils down near the coast, but it kind of drops in statistical probability as closer you get to the coast.
Absolutely. Homes on a crawl space, well vented, that helps.
That helps some. Yes.
Basements, slab constructions, then it gets in the home and it has nowhere to go.
Exactly. We see higher readings of radon in walkout basements in our area, which is traditional. other than crawl spaces and slab homes.
And how do you detect that?
Radon, the only way you can detect it is to test for it. And there's a number of ways to test for it. I won't go into all those different ways, but it's basically taking samples in the home for a period of time, either an on-site monitor or send the samples off to an independent laboratory for testing.
Absolutely. And we just had a property in Fort Mill on a basement with radon, and there are companies out there that will come in and solve the radon problem through venting and sealing of cracks and things like that, and get it diverted to the outside of the house, which is...
It's pretty economical. It's not a very big expense to do radon mitigation, and there are a number of companies in this area to do the mitigation.
Absolutely. So great information on those toxic fumes that are inside homes and how to remedy those. I always say this when we talk with Scott is we 100% recommend home inspections when you buy a home. When you own a home, to sellers and homeowners, I recommend a home inspection every 3 or 4 years just to make sure, or sooner, but sometimes on older homes, to make sure that everything's working, because sometimes a little small problem can be found and it prevents a huge, massive problem.
Exactly.
And so oftentimes we're selling homes that people have been in for long periods of time, and a minor leak has caused tens of thousands of dollars of damage. So, Scott, let's tell them how to reach you to get that home inspection.
It can be reached at 803-325-7878. That's Carolina Home Pro Inspections.
Great information. Thank you for being our home inspector expert. So thanks so much. We'll be right back with beautiful homes for sale in your area.